PR Connections Radio presents.
Welcome to Vegas Hockey Hub here on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele, and we have another good edition for you of Vegas Hockey Hub recap, as we're going to be breaking down the latest game that happened between the Dallas Stars and your Vegas Golden Knights. And there's definitely going to be some good back and forth here. There's going to be some good conversation we are going to have when it comes to the Dallas Stars and Vegas Golden Knights game. But before we get into that, go to the PR Connections Radio website. Check out all the content we have on there. We have about a dozen shows on the network, including Vegas Hockey Hub. So I'd recommend going to the website and checking out all the content on there. If you also want to go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to PR Connections Radio, it would be much appreciated. We upload every single show onto the network, including Vegas Hockey Hub. I try to upload every single day, and it's definitely a good network out there with PRConnectionsRadio.com. So I will say, once again, go to the YouTube channel and subscribe, and do not miss any content that is being put on the network, including Vegas Hockey Hub. And, I also will mention when it comes to the YouTube channel, I know that we are going to be doing some type of marathon coming up soon. It's going to be in a couple of weeks. So for anyone who is interested in that, anyone who wants to see what kind of show that is, I would say go to Vegas Hockey Hub, go to the YouTube channel, and definitely check that out as well. And also, if you want to support Vegas Hockey Hub itself, we have a YouTube channel. We also upload exclusive content on there. We do our recap shows. We have Vegas Hockey Hub Shorts. We try to post some content on there that will be for all hockey fans around the world. And if you want to like this video and share it to all your friends all around the world, it would be much appreciated. If you also want to go to all of our social medias, we are on everywhere. We are everywhere at Vegas Hockey Hub. We're on Facebook. We post our links there. We try to, engage our audience, engage with the fans, trying to keep everyone, content-wise, together. Whereas also, we are going to have we're also going to have our Instagram as well, where we're going to post videos and pictures from the games that we are covering, regardless if it's the Vegas Golden Knights, Henderson Silver Knights, UNLV Rebels Hockey. We have a bunch of content that we put on our Instagram and on Twitter at Vegas Hockey Hub. We do our live tweets of every single Golden Knights game, and we try to interact and engage with everyone who watches Vegas Hockey Hub. So getting into this game, you had the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights, and this was definitely a good game, a lot of good back and forth, and some really good finish that we are going to be talking about in this game. So, the first thing we do have to mention, it was a lineup change. Michael Amadio is out, and and this is only speculation that since he is expecting to have a baby with his wife, I would say that there's probably a good chance that could be a reason why he's out of the lineup. That's pure speculation. We'll know eventually what the reason is. But for this game, Michael Amadio is out. Pavel Dorofeyev is in. And, Dorofeyev, he has played a few games to begin the year. And he has been someone that if you need someone to be substituted out, Dorofeyev is a good player to substitute in. So Pavel Dorofeyev getting the start in the starting lineup for your Vegas Golden Knights. And it feels like we've been talking about this for the last week and a half. Logan Thompson once again in net for your Vegas Golden Knights. And, his fortune has kind of changed as of late. After having that 5-game losing streak where he lost 5 outings in a row, he has turned it around, and he did a very good job against the St. Louis Blues recently as they picked up the win in that last outing. So for Logan Thompson, once again, going to get an opportunity in net, and he has done a relatively good job this year. His statistics, his goals against average is not going to look the part, but when you're watching the game and you're really watching Logan Thompson, he has been better than what analytics say he is. And I will say for Logan Thompson, another chance to try to win for your Vegas Golden Knights as he is in net for Vegas against Dallas. So playing at the All-American Arena, the All-American Airlines Arena, the American Airlines Arena out there in Dallas, and not even 2 minutes into the game, we would have the first goal of the game as Chandler Stevenson would score his third goal of the season, assisted by Brett Howden and Zach Whitecloud. And this definitely was a good goal by Chandler Stevenson. Now, we know that Chandler Stevenson has not been as explosive as of recent years. When it comes to putting the puck in the back of the net, Chandler Stevenson, unfortunately, is not showing what he has done for majority of his career, which was being, an elite goal scorer, someone who could be an all-star like he was last year. But with Chandler Stevenson, I look at it and go, you know what? He's had a little bit of a slow start to the season, especially considering the injuries that he had in this year. But yeah, for Chandler Stevenson, someone who's had a 20-goal season, not even a couple of years ago for Vegas, to have his third goal of the season when it comes to Chandler Stevenson. So that definitely was a good goal there. And then a few minutes later, one of the players that helped Chandler Stevenson with the assist, Zach Whitecloud, with his second goal of the season, assisted by Nick Waugh and William Carrier to make it a 2-0 game for Vegas. And Zach Whitecloud, once again, reliable, dependent. He is someone that the Vegas Golden Knights have really seen become one of the best defensemen on the roster. And Zach Whitecloud, regardless of his offensive production, we know what he can do defensive-wise. But Zach Whitecloud's second goal of the season, helping out the Vegas Golden Knights get out to an early 2-0 game. And, we talk a lot about the current Golden Knights, but we have to mention a former Golden Knight, as Evgeny Dadonov would have his seventh goal of the season for the Dallas Stars. And Evgeny Dadonov, of course, his history with Vegas is already well established. We know what happened with Evgeny Dadonov. So, he was here in Vegas. We got him for the Ottawa Senators by giving up Nick Holden. And then we ended up having the situation with the NHL trade deadline. Vegas Golden Knights tried to flip Evgeny Dadonov to the Anaheim Ducks, but the Anaheim Ducks were on his no-trade list. It did not go through. And then eventually he ended up going to Montreal. We ended up getting Shea Weber's contract back in the deal. And then, thanks to recent events, he is now signed with the Dallas Stars. He is now playing in Dallas. But yeah, Dadonov, the former Golden Knight, seventh goal of the season to make the Dallas Stars go back down by 1, assisted by Jamie Benn and Janie Hackapaa. And it was a 2-1 game, and Vegas still has the lead at this point as we're getting towards the end of the first period. But with about 5 minutes left, your captain, my captain, our captain, Mark Stone, with his 8th goal of the season. Now, this was assisted by Ivan Barbashev and Jack Eichel, once again showing this first line. When they are on it, man, they're just on it. Like, when you have that first line running on all cylinders, running at 9,000 RPMs, you can really see how this first line of Stone, Eichel, and Barbashev, they are elite. They are one of the best lines in hockey when everyone's on the same page. And I will say, for Mark Stone, him scoring his 8th goal of the season, he has done a relatively good job so far this season. And I will say, for Vegas, that Mark Stone has been a crucial member of this team. And as we got towards the end of period number 1, Vegas being up by 2 goals kind of had a little bit of a safety, security cushion there as your Vegas Golden Knights were up by 2. And to really get into second period, there really wasn't much that happened outside of putting the puck in the back of the net. I mean, after all, there was a few penalties, which we'll talk about right here, right now, as when it came to the Vegas Golden Knights and Dallas Stars, it felt like the penalties were kind of one-sided, as I would say. These penalties were kind of in a one-sided affair, as Nick Hague would have an interference penalty against Sam Steele, and then Keegan Kolizar would have an interference penalty once again against the same guy in Sam Steele. So if you're a Dallas Stars fan, having Sam Steele have 2 interference penalties in the same game by 2 different players, that's just something that Vegas kind of had. And then later in the second period, you had a high sticking penalty from Wyatt Johnston to Jack Eichel. And then later on, you had a goaltender interference penalty on the Dallas Stars defenseman Thomas Harley. So he had an interference call against Logan Thompson, and that's definitely something that I'm talking about here. It felt like the penalties and it felt like the kind of lack of discipline was more on Dallas's side and less on Vegas's side. So when it came to Vegas, it's definitely something that will be mentioned, is that the Vegas Golden Knights for the last couple of games have done really well at having discipline. Done really well at kind of, maintain their composure, not allowing the opposite team to kind of to get in their head. So in the second period, with about 5 minutes left, Nick Waugh with his 4th goal of the season, assisted by your captain, Mark Stone. And the Vegas Golden Knights would now be up 4-1 against Dallas. And it really just established the tone of this game. I mean, you had Nick Waugh, Mark Stone, Zach Whitecloud, Chandler Stevenson. The puck was being presented to all people. You had a bunch of, really good players doing what they do best, and that has helped your Vegas Golden Knights win. So after the second period, Vegas is up 4-1, and then the guy who was in the lineup because of Michael Amadio being out, Pavel Dorofeev, with his 2nd goal of the season, 2 minutes in to the third period, assisted by Paul Cotter and William Karlsson to make it a 5-1 game. And yeah, definitely Pavel Dorofeev. He has such a bright future here in Vegas. I mean, he was a top prospect heading into the year. He's someone that a lot of people in Henderson and a lot of people in the Vegas side have been praising as of late. So Pavel Dorofeev doing a really good job for Vegas. And then a couple of minutes later, talking about young guys who are making a statement, Paul Cotter would have his 4th goal of the season, assisted by Braden McNabb. And that would kind of finalize the game here, as Paul Cotter would help Vegas get to a 6-1 lead and finalize it, as Vegas would win by 5 at American Airlines Arena in Dallas. So your Vegas Golden Knights pick up the win. This has been some good momentum as of late for your Vegas Golden Knights. And I will say, when it comes to Vegas, this is definitely something that I look at and say, you know what? Vegas is doing it right. No doubt about it. Vegas has taken advantage of certain opportunities, and they're doing a really good job at, kind of establishing certain things. And I like what Vegas is doing. They've done a really good job. And when it comes to your Vegas Golden Knights, them picking up another win matters. Now, your player of the game will go to your captain, Mark Stone, not just because of the goal that he had in the first period, but the way Mark Stone played in this game. Him having the goal and then him eventually having the assist as well on the Nick Waugh goal. So, Mark Stone was everywhere all night long. And him being the captain, you could easily tell that he had a huge impact in this game. So for Mark Stone, definitely doing a good job. And your Vegas Golden Knights currently on a 2-game winning streak. And I will say, for the Vegas Golden Knights, this has definitely been a good kind of momentum turner based off of what happened a few games prior. When the Vegas Golden Knights were on that losing streak, when they lost to Arizona, Edmonton, and Calgary, there was some ideas of, is Vegas starting to kind of regress a little bit? Well, these past 2 games have shown that no, Vegas isn't regressing. In fact, Vegas is still one of the best teams in hockey right now. So definitely some good conversations we could be talking about there. Your Vegas Golden Knights 18-5-5 on the year. And, looking at the next couple of games for your Vegas Golden Knights, you're going to be taking on the San Jose Sharks tomorrow. And that's going to be a really good situation for Vegas, heading back home, being at the T-Mobile Arena, going up against San Jose. And then they're going to have the start of their 4-game homestand, as you're going to have Buffalo, Calgary, and Ottawa being played at T-Mobile Arena. And, when it comes to Vegas, we're definitely going to break that down. We're going to talk about every single game like we do here on the show. And I like what Vegas is going to do moving forward, because if the Vegas Golden Knights can start building up momentum and picking up, 4 out of 5 wins or 7 out of 8 wins, If they can, do a stretch of 8-2 or 7-2-1, that would be great for your Vegas Golden Knights, because that's all about getting those reps, right? Just picking up repetition. And I will say for Vegas, this has definitely been a good opportunity for your Golden Knights to go out and win. So I will say for Vegas has definitely been a good opportunity, and I like what we are seeing from Vegas. And hopefully this 4-game homestand can end up being a positive for Vegas and not a negative. Now, the game stats that we are going to break down when it comes to this Dallas Stars game, as Vegas won 6-1. Now, Vegas had 27 shots on net compared to Dallas, who had 20. The Vegas Golden Knights had more hits with 19 compared to Dallas's 11. And the faceoffs were pretty much near even. Vegas won 51%, Dallas 49%. I mean, that's essentially near even. And then the rest of the team stats, the Vegas Golden Knights, they went 0-2 on the power play, but they went 3-for-3 on the penalty kill. You also had the Vegas Golden Knights, who blocked 16 shots on instead of compared to Dallas's 10. And the main point I want to say, the Vegas Golden Knights had 13 takeaways as compared to only 9 giveaways. So anytime at the end of the game you want to have more takeaways than giveaways, that's a positive for your organization to have. So I will say for Vegas, definitely a good game for them. This is definitely building momentum towards having a good next couple of stretch for your Vegas Golden Knights. And, as we're sitting here kind of analyzing the game, looking at what was going on there, I will say for Vegas, they're definitely going to be looking at this and saying, you know what, we have to sit here, we have to analyze it, and we are going to go into San Jose tomorrow at T-Mobile Arena, and we're going to try to not just win against San Jose, but we're going to try to do everything that we can to beat San Jose. Because a lot of people don't like to say it, but it's still a rivalry game. Based off of the history San Jose and Vegas has had, it's going to always be a rivalry game, regardless of how bad San Jose is. And trust me, we know how bad San Jose is and how good Vegas is. There's always going to be that form of rivalry between both teams. So as we are breaking down what's going on in this game, I'm going to leave you with a couple of comments before we head out of here. So when it comes to Vegas, when it comes to Dallas, I like what Bruce Cassidy did. Bruce Cassidy as a coach is one of the best coaches in hockey. You can tell based off the schemes, based off of the way that he is, playing this organization, certain lines are done for a reason. The defensive pairings are all well done despite the injury to Shea Theodore. And I will also point out that the Vegas Golden Knights, you lost Aiden Hill. He's been out for a couple of games, but you still have LT. You still have Logan Thompson, and he has done a stand-up job for Vegas. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Logan Thompson is really not getting enough credit at this point in the season, considering that he has done a really good job in net. A lot of times when stuff goes wrong, it's really not his fault. A lot of times it's the defense letting up, or it's just a really good play on the offensive end. It's not necessarily his fault. So I will say for your Vegas Golden Knights, this has definitely been a really good game, a 6-1 affair as Vegas beat Dallas as a Western Conference Final rematch. Now, I do want to remind everyone that the last time Dallas and Vegas took off, there was a interesting moment that happened in that game. And, the Vegas Golden Knights beat the Dallas Stars 2-1 the last time they were in Dallas. So for them to now go back to Dallas and win 6-1 is a good moment for your Vegas Golden Knights. So I will say for everyone watching all around the world, I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. And I will say, as we're getting towards the end of the show here, your Vegas Golden Knights 18-5-5. We're going to be uploading the San Jose show very soon as when that game happens. And this will be another edition of Vegas Hockey Hub. So until next time, I'm your host, Ian Rachiele, and this is going to be an edition of Vegas Hockey Hub Recap. So until next time, I'm your host, Ian Rachiele, and, continue watching hockey, go support junior hockey, and go Knights, go.